Hello?
Beep, 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 beep. Oh dear. Welcome back to the court of the Edijester in what is a most peculiar day. For me, a most peculiar day. So it's early in the morning. I've just had breakfast. I had curry. Yes, I have curry for breakfast. Some people have cold pizza because they're nuts. Me, I have curry. How are we all doing out there? In loony land, which is what it seems to be at the moment. What an extraordinary state of affairs we find ourselves in, with all these organisations refusing to behave in regards to the court ruling that states what we've always known, which is so-called trans women are men and so-called trans men are women. Oh my dear me. We had to get the law to say it because people have gone so mad across the bloody West. And we've now got organisations that refuse to behave. Yeah, we've issued a statement. We're waiting for further clarification of the clarification. The Supreme Court have given us a clarification, and now we're going to get more clarification from the EHRC, who will, of course, now consult on the clarification of the clarification. It's insane. On every conceivable level, the whole affair. Mad. Bonkers. People ignoring a judgment. It's not a judgment, but a clarification of the clarification. It's utterly insane. So I'm asking today for your help. The Jester is in need of advice and guidance. What is it going to take for those of you who have traditionally been supporters of the left, those who had voted Labour in the past, which includes me, by the way, right? Those that are concerned about class analysis, which includes me. Those are concerned about how do we, make people better off, right? Who wouldn't want that? Those of us who are not raving right lunatics, but those of us equally who are not raving left lunatics, although right now, that seems to be the only kind of lefty, is the lunatic lefty. It's like the 70s all over again, isn't it? Next thing you know, there'll be taps at the end of the road so you can get your water. Won't be able to bury your dead. And Harold Wilson will rise like a zombie from his grave. Yeah. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? Right? So I was gobsmacked because Labour have voted yesterday and they've said, yes, we agree with the clarification by the courts. Yeah, we agree, absolutely, that, men are men, women are women, we agree. To which all the lefty gusset fumblers are going to have an absolute conniption, right? And then promptly went, and yeah, because of that, the women can't have a meeting. That's what they said, right? Years ago, during the civil rights movements in America, when they broke segregation, when they desegregated, in order that everybody would sort of like be in the menu, we stopped picking on people and saying you can't come in here because you're black. We can't. When they stopped all that in the South in America, the Democrats, which is the left again, by the way, the Democrats threw their toys out the pram, and rather than have mixed swimming sessions, they cancelled the swimming session entirely. This is the same thing. Right? This is the same thing. Now, so to help me understand, I put up a tweet, which hasn't got much traction, strangely. I need to understand how long it's going to take for women, I'm asking women particularly, who lean left, and there are lots of you in the GC movement, there are lots of you that are involved in this fight because of your history of being supportive of what is genuine class analysis, genuinely based upon how do we make life better for everybody. I have to ask you the question, what is it going to take for you to leave the abusive partner that the Labour Party obviously is? What is it going to take? And it's always an interesting question because the warrior teachers were discussing this yesterday, right? And they're saying, I am no longer involved with the left. I'm no longer supportive of the left because they're beginning to see how dangerous Labour is. I mean, seriously dangerous. We're talking Mao level dangerous, right? How we are heading towards a situation whereby their state control, their anger at the failure of their utopia, which is not coming to fruition at all, is in fact falling apart. Multiculturalism was a lie. It just doesn't work. You know, we've got Islam is absolutely fundamentally not compatible. Islamists not compatible with Western civilization. We're beginning to see everything fall to pieces on that front. So the Labour dream, the identitarian dream of the Labourites from the 80s and from Tony Blair and his cronies, who were essentially just pissed off Trotskyists who couldn't get over the fact that the Soviet Union fell. They're the problem. They're dangerous. They are dangerous. We've got a woman in prison for speech. People go, yeah, but she incited violence. She didn't say come here and be here at a certain time. Turn up at 5:30 on Friday and burn people. That's not what she said. All right, Tuesday morning, 8:30, after you've had your Weetabix, we're going to go and burn down a few hotels. She didn't say that. There was no intention to bring people together. There was no intention to do any of it. We've got this completely wrong. And not only that, those speech laws are set to get worse. They've got an employment bill going through in which if the employer doesn't do something about a third party speaking badly to their staff, they're liable. This is insane. This is Stasi level stuff, right? This is pure. We are heading for what are called struggle sessions, and we've already had a few. Look at Kathleen Stock, look at Joe Phoenix. If you don't think that's the same as a struggle session, the only separation, and it's paper thin, between what happened to Kathleen Stock as a struggle session and a struggle session as would be seen in the Cultural Revolution in 68 is the complicity of the state and the viciousness of its organs. That's the only thing that's missing. When we thwart these people, when these people don't get their communist socialist utopia, they will get vicious. And anybody who doesn't... Is that curry? And anybody who doesn't understand that is off their cheese box. So I ask again, what will it take for those women in the GC movement? Because it's them I'm concerned about the most. That's what the fight's about, protecting women. The fight's about giving women their spaces, giving women their ability to live their lives fully, letting women speak, as Kelly J would say. So, go on then. Why? What would it take? If this was an abusive man, which is the same behaviour as Labour's doing, if this was an abusive man, you would all be screaming, let's get this woman away from this bloke. What will it take for you to abandon Labour, who is Labour in name only? And if women want to have a conference, left-leaning women want to have a conference, crowdfund it and run your own. Screw them. That's the only way forward. And on that note, I need the loo. I'll see you later. Ooh, bye-bye.